What's up, guys? It's Chris here. Thank you for being with me today. If you're new around here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. I'll post game coverage of all the Chiefs games through the season, and I'll have playlists already set up for the games in the past that you may have missed. So subscribe now, but without further ado, let's get into today's game. All right, guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to start off just reading some stats because I want to make it very clear what happened in this game because I'm not really sure where this video is going to go by the end of it. So the Chiefs lose 24-31 to the Texans. Second straight loss at Arrowhead, second straight loss in general. A lot of the same issues that the Chiefs have been struggling with, they continue to struggle with into this game. Again, 31-24. The offense, Patrick Mahomes, 19-35, 3 touchdowns, interceptions, 2 turnovers. Deshaun Watson, the other end, 30 for 42, 2 interceptions, a touchdown. Also ran for 1. And then my notes I had in the game, there was a point in the first half where we had our 17-3 lead where I felt like the offense was, I felt it was humming. I felt like it was looking as similar to what I'm used to it looking since the second quarter of the Raiders game. Really haven't been able to find a rhythm since then, and we found it. When we scored those first 17 points, it looked like we had found a rhythm, and kind of went away from there. But before we continue, and the reason why I kind of read those stats and the score, because I want to let you guys know, I feel like this is a good time to do this because we were playing the Houston Texans. I'll be covering the Houston Rockets and talking a lot about that, as we go into the NBA season. But it's a good time to let you all know, the people that watch this channel, that I do not stand for any particular team. That's just not how I look at sports. I can't quite tell you how I developed that, but I'm more of a players fan. And I seem to look at sports more for what they actually are, the sports themselves, what the athletes themselves can do, and what they can do as, in a team makeup, and what that means about winning and losing games, and, each individual per player performing. Not necessarily, I live in this city, I need this to happen. And I know that for a lot of people, that is how they do sports. And that's, that's where someone like myself can come in. I can look at, what the players are doing, what's going out there on the field, and kind of help people that, may just be more casual or just, they're just hometown fans, help them understand the game a bit better. With that said, guys, the reason I bring that up is the fan base is kind of in a swirl right now after these last 2 losses. And, I definitely understand it. Obviously I brought this up in last week's video and a separate video I had last week, which you guys can go to the channel and find. There seems to be 2 different ways of looking at this. There's people that, we all had an expectation that the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl. There's nothing wrong with that. The Chiefs were good enough last year. They're bringing Mahomes back, bringing back the same crew for the most part. There's no reason to not feel that the Chiefs were a Super Bowl contender. Absolutely. First couple weeks of the season, 4-0, all that stuff. No reason to think anything differently. But on the other side, there's been a group of people that have been bringing up the issues with this team, some of which has persisted since last year and before that even, if you just want to talk about the Andy Reid era or just the Mahomes era, however you want to look at it, some of these issues have still been there. And even through the winning, some people want to point these things out because the ultimate goal is a Super Bowl. We all would love to see the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. And in order to get that done, your team needs to show improvement in certain areas and needs to be able to perform in certain areas. So I'm going to break down those 2 parts right now. All right, I want to get this out the way and start with the offense because there's no question right now these last couple weeks that the offense has not been performing up to standard, far below the expectations that this Chiefs offense has set for himself last year going into this year. And we can talk about some of those issues. Start with the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. The best player in the league, in my opinion. He's really struggled. This 3-game stretch of his has been the worst 3-game stretch of his career. I brought it up last week. I cannot give him the injury excuse all the way. Yes, he's been hobbled and maybe not been able to perform the way, at 100%. He's still been able to go out there and, perform at a high level, make the throws he wants to make, move around, run around at a high enough level that I just can't give him that excuse. And there have been some sloppy mechanics. He's getting hit a lot. I'm going to get to that later. He's getting hit a lot. And I think maybe that lends into some of his sloppy mechanics with his throwing. He's leaning back, he's fading away on so many of his passes, but he's continuing to get hit. And I think it's important to bring up that he's getting hit because early in the season when the team was having success, I actually thought that Patrick was playing more sound. I thought he was, making better decisions with the football, staying, cleaner in the pocket. I really thought that some of the things that we were hoping he'd improve upon, he had been, and I still think that's there. But as he's been continuing to get hit, I mean, he's been taking some hits these last few weeks. We see him, leaning back, fading away, really trying to avoid contact each and every time he's throwing the ball and there's someone coming, which is kind of forced some overthrows, just some missed players, and it's overall it's just hurt the offense a bit. I don't really want to spend too much time on this because honestly, guys, Patrick is fine. I think I might close this video talking a little more about him, but Patrick is going to be fine. If we can keep him protected, Patrick is a great player, and he will. Every expectation we had about this team was because of this guy, and I think that's going to be fine. But that offensive line, they got to block for him. The blocking's been just horrendous. No time. Guys are coming from all over. Patrick is running for his life. He's getting hit every time he throws the ball. I mean, it's clearly been an issue. I've heard some people bring up the running game, which, again, yes, we need a running game. I don't think it's our backs per se. I think our backs can run. I feel like we rely upon the screen game and the pass game to really open up lanes for our runners. That's kind of how Andy Reid has done his thing. Okay, so now let's talk about something I've been talking about multiple videos here. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but we got to bring it up again. And that's the Chiefs defense. I was talking to some guys, and you just take yourself back to just playing the game and just a week by week basis. Football is so much different than every other sport. There's not back to backs. I mean, you really, once you have a game, you're weak. You're focused on it's. You're moving on. You're moving on. You're trying to correct the mistakes that you had the previous week. And so I look at things like the game against the Lions, we had 5 fumbles, still came out on top. But then we come out the next week and we have, all these drops and more fumbles, and you add that on, to the fact that our defense was as bad as it was last year. We use the coach, as a scapegoat, a coach that had been successful in the past, but it, slipped off the last couple of years. Use him as a scapegoat, pretty much bring the same defense back, except, we get rid of some guys, some leaders of our defense, and now we have the same issue. So when you start to talk about these things in a football context, in terms of not being able to stop the run for 2 consecutive years, like the run defense not being able to tackle, again, it's not. We're not playing Saquon Barkley. I mean, anybody has been able to run against the Chiefs over these last 2 years, and it's tackling, it's physicality. We are soft. I guess my question is, who's in charge? I love Andy Reid. A lot of the things I'm struggling with this team, if I were looking at them on any other team, I would be talking about the coach or the GM. If you just want to talk about the roster, the defense, whoever's picking these defensive players, I mean, that guy needs to be held responsible, no doubt. But even beyond that, just some of the issues, I'm talking about heart and spirit, and again, that's players and leadership too, but the coach needs to hold some responsibility here. Andy is great, he does his thing. I'm not trying to talk bad about Andy. I'm not even saying that I'm talking bad about Andy. I'm just saying that these are things that in any other situation you would be looking at the coach. Why are these same issues coming up? How are you as a coach watching your great offense continually stay on the field because you're not able to stop the run? You being the head coach, this is for 2 seasons. Again, the thing needs to be stressed. This is 2 consecutive seasons. Every single game not being able to stop the run, no matter the running back. We traded Carlos. He was on the Chiefs. I saw him in the preseason. We got rid of him. He just ran for 100 yards on us. On us. It doesn't matter who it is. They have been able to run against the Chiefs. We can't tackle anybody. And so you have a head coach. Where is he going to be hey, we are going to stop the run. We are going to put our resources into stopping this run. I know what I can do as a coach, but as a team, if we don't address this, we're not going to reach our goals. And that's my big thing on the defense, is that when you look at playoff football, if you look at the NFL over the years, you can't go into playoff games with a defense like the Chiefs. When you're playing against Tom Brady's teams with great quarterbacks, great coaches, or just great defenses, the Chiefs don't have it doesn't matter the offense. The offense is going to be able to produce against the Chiefs defense. It has been proven. No matter the running back, he is going to be able to run for 100 yards as long as he get his 15 carries. If they give it to him 15 times, he will get that. They're going to be able to run the clock on the Chiefs and keep the offense off the field. But then on offense, we got our all-pro tight end having multiple false starts in the last couple weeks. Who's going to talk to him about that? Who's going to check Kelsey? He's a leader of this team. He should not be the one going, off sides, not knowing the cadence. I mean, that's on him. Again, all my people that play the game, put yourself back in the football team. If you have a false start, it's like, oh my God. If you have 2 in the game, like, you fucked up. And if you come back the next week with another one, that literally, like, if you're not an all-pro, you're probably coming out of the game. Like, you might not play, definitely not the rest of that game. 3 false starts in 2 weeks is completely unacceptable. Anyway, let's get a little more into the game. I kind of went over the stats already and the final score. Some of just the things in the game that I know some fans are talking about. The penalties, I was a little confused by them too. There were so many flags. I mean, and they're all the same flag. It was like, the refs were clearly trying to make a point about something. You know, there was something going on in the field where they wanted the guys to know that you would not be able to hold, you know, or you were not going to be able to do whatever you thought you would be able to, because, I mean, there were so many holding, you know, defensive backs were getting called for holding and pass interference left and right. The challenge call that they've implemented, you know, I don't know what they're doing with that. I'm glad that they don't reverse it, you know, unless it's egregious. I haven't seen one that I would have, you know, like for sure overturned, and they've kind of stuck to that. So I don't know what to do with all those flags and defensive holdings, you know. But the Texans just beat us. They were able to run the ball, you know, run clock. They clearly were like running the same offense. They'd either give it to Hyde, they run with the play action and bring Watson on that boot. He'd hit either the quick slant or the quick out to the tight end. I mean, how many times did we see that? Fells, you know, or, you know, Hopkins. You know, they also dropped multiple touchdowns. They should have had 2-3 more touchdowns on us that were wide open. You know, good receiver in Fuller, you know, not a consistent receiver as we see. And that's just been the story of his career. But, I mean, goodness, they should have had 2 more touchdowns. Again, just able to run at will. Carlos Hyde for the Texans, just running right over us, missing them. Like, we made him look like Saquon. Everybody looks like Saquon. Everybody looked like Barry Sanders against the Chiefs. Definitely on a week like this, I want to know what you guys think. You know, because I know a lot of people are upset with the defensive side, some with the offense. I think it all is just the prism of which you view the team in terms of their Super Bowl expectations. Myself, I always put that, you know, that expectation on Mahomes. And I kind of want to close with him, you know, going to what I said earlier about me kind of being a players fan and not just standing a team. You know, the biggest reason I'm here right now talking about the Chiefs, you know, not only do I live in KC, but it's because of Mahomes. Like, he's a great player. Like, I believe in him, you know, and he's someone that him being on the Chiefs, like, we got a chance because of him. And I think it's important that fans understand that, you know, him performing at his best, that's how the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl. And I think people understand that, but I don't think they really contextualize that in just the overall outlook of this team, not just for this season, but, you know, even moving forward. Like, there's still a lot that needs to be done that's rostered. Like, this defense, I'm telling you guys, I've been watching NFL for a long time. I have never seen a defense like this. I've never seen a defense not be able to stop the run over this many games in a row. Never, ever, ever. And if you look up stats, you might be able to find some stats somewhere, but with my eyes, I've never seen it. Never seen it. Tackling, just holes, never seen it. Promise you. And so even though we have Patrick Mahomes, there's still holes in this team that need to be addressed. And those issues need to be addressed if you want to win the Super Bowl. And I know there's a lot of fans out there that think that with Mahomes, they're expecting multiple Super Bowl championships. If that's your expectation, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And, you know, I don't know where you want to place your blame right now as to why that's not happening, but there's just some holes on this team that need to be addressed. So I'm going to get on that, guys. Let me know what you think about the Chiefs. Again, this was a little bit different video. Kind of want to let you guys know that I'm here to offer perspective just for someone that's watched the game for a long time. You know, right now, the way the Chiefs are looking, they don't look like a Super Bowl team. You know, like right now they don't. With a defense like this, how could I tell someone that they're going to be a Super Bowl team with a defense like this? Specifically the run defense. I mean, it's just, I can't do it, you know. And until the offense drops 30 for 5 straight games again, you know, I'm not sure if I see this is a Super Bowl or bust team. I think we need to, again, this is right now, like I said last week, this is week by week. We need to win next week. I think we got the Broncos, and we need to be focused on each week at a time. There needs to be no MVP, Super Bowl, playoff matchup, none of that. Like, week by week. So, thank you guys for watching. Please like this video, share it out to other Chiefs fans, subscribe for more. I'll have some things coming out later this week on the Chiefs and some topics. So, thank you guys for watching.